Joining us on the phone right now, we have got ladies. Ladies, I know you're going to be excited. We've got the Bachelor, Mr. Sean Lowe. Sean, good morning, my man. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to talk to you. When we announced last week you were going to be on the show today, ladies started freaking out. That's got to be kind of a weird feeling, I would assume, to go from being like a normal. I mean, I guess you were never normal. You're a model and stuff, so you're pretty lucky. But all of a sudden, to just have women all around the country pining after you, is that a weird feeling?
It's bizarre, man. And I do consider myself to be a normal guy who used to live a normal life in Dallas, and so to get recognized and to hear all these women saying these different things, it is a bizarre feeling.
Yeah, I could only imagine that. So you got rejected by Emily, and so now they bring you back. Was that something, when you were rejected, did you ever think, like, I might be back for another reality show, or did you just kind of assume that was the end of your reality career?
No, I wrote it off. I was ready to get back to my normal life. I didn't want 15 more minutes of fame. And I had assumed, because the rumor was that guy Roberto was going to be the Bachelor, and so I wrote it off. And when they called me, it was unexpected, and I actually told them that I didn't know. I didn't know if I wanted to do it, didn't know if I wanted to go through all that again. And then after taking a little bit of time to think about it and talk about it with my family and pray about it, I just decided, you know what, I owe it to myself to give it one more chance.
Yeah. Well, you know what? One thing I think is unfair, I was just reading a lot of the reviews of the first episode, the recaps, do you do any of that? Do you ever look and see what people are talking about online, or do you try to avoid it?
I avoid a lot of it, but I'll read stuff here and there.
Okay, well, a lot of people are dogging on the fact that you, like you just said right there, you prayed about it a little bit. Is that, that's got to be a little annoying, that it's like that's what people are, of all the stuff of you being a good-looking dude, there's a woman, there's an amputee on the show, there's so much stuff to talk about, and people keep going back to the fact that you prayed about it, and they think that that's like a weird thing, and they're mocking you for that, and that you're the weird Jesus Bachelor because you pray. Is that just, does that go off of your back?
You know what? I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me a little bit, but I knew that stuff was coming, and I'm okay with it because I know what's right, and I know how I want to live my life, and if other people want to be cynical and if other people want to bring me down, that's fine, but I've got thick skin. I'm just going to let it roll off my back.
Yeah. Really, how could you not let it roll off your back when you're a fitness model? That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to end it there. If I was a fitness model, Sean, I could do anything. Anything could happen to me. But here, this is going to be a hard question to answer, I think. But I have got to know, you can't, when you start the show, there's no way in that first week that you can get rid of all the black girls, even if you're not into African-American women. I was thinking that. I was like, what if that's just not your thing, or you don't connect with them at all? Do you feel in the back of your mind, like in that first episode, obviously you've got to keep at least 2 of the African-American girls, and you have to keep the girl with one arm? Because there's no way you can just come out of the gate and be like, boom, one arm girl, you're gone. All the black girls are gone. Here's my picks. Because then it's going to be an uproar. Did you feel any of that pressure? Like, whoa, they threw some curveballs, and I've got to keep them at least for a week or two so people don't think I'm weird.
Well, if I didn't like any of the black girls, and if I didn't like Sarah, who has the one arm, I probably would have felt that pressure. But lucky for me, I did like, I think I kept 3 girls who were African-American, and then Sarah was incredible as well. So I didn't feel that pressure because I genuinely wanted to spend more time with them.
Good. Well, because that's what I thought when watching it. Luckily, Sarah was way cool, because I thought, that's just a mean curveball to throw at a guy, because what if she wasn't cool and that you had no connection and you let her go home, you're going to look like a jerk. So, luckily, at least, if they're putting a girl with one arm on the show, she's a girl that you can get along with. That just seemed weird to me, that it's like, man, you're putting people on the show that he can't send home yet. He's got to keep them just because he can't be a jerk. What do you think?
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Well, that was my first thought when Sarah stepped out of the limo was, I can't send this poor girl home, because obviously America is going to sympathize with her. But it only took a couple of minutes of talking to her to figure out this girl's not only beautiful, but she's also smart and she's funny. and she seems to be very successful. So giving her a rose was a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was one of the cool moments of that episode. That premiere was what you learn all about her, and you're like, oh yeah, cool. Seems like a really cool chick, and then the camera pans down, and you're just like, whoa, one arm. It just catches you. I mean, you do not expect it. It's not like, obviously her disability does not define her. That's for sure. And what about Catherine? Catherine was my personal favorite. Did she set off some bells in your head this season?
Yeah, Catherine was someone who I had never really dated someone like her in my past. She's obviously beautiful, but she's a little quirky and she's a little weird, and she would describe herself as nerdy. And I've never really dated a girl like that, so I was drawn to her immediately just because she has a great sense of humor. She's a little out there. She doesn't care what other people think about her. And, she's very confident in who she is, which I find to be very sexy.
Yeah, confidence obviously is a very, very sexy thing. I've got to ask, do you think, what's your expectation at the end of the season? Obviously, you're hoping for love. You're looking for love. I mean, that's the point of the show. Do you think that you're actually only one couple out of the 9,000 Bachelor, Bachelorette seasons has made it work? Do you think that there's a legitimate chance that this season you can find a girl and, a year down the line still be with that girl?
Yeah, I think there's a legitimate chance, but I'm certainly still skeptical because I know in my past I've been very selective or picky, if you will. And I knew going into this season that there's a chance I won't really find a connection with anyone, and this might not work out. But at least I gave it a try. So do I think it's likely? No. But is it possible? Yes.
And how much, obviously this will come later in the season probably, but at some point you're going to get to take some of the girls home to meet your family, right? Is that probably coming up?
Yep, that's right.
And so when that happens, how much of a say, I know obviously you're a family man, family's important to you, how much of a say are you going to let your family have? I mean, if there's a girl you really like and that, you go home and they say, and we're just not feeling her, I mean, does your family have a big say in this, or are you going to are they one little piece of the puzzle, or how much of an influence are they going to have?
Yeah, I would take it into consideration if they really didn't like the girl, but for the most part, I've got to trust my own judgment because I've spent what would be 2 months with these women, whereas my family only gets to sit down and meet them for a couple of hours. And so I think my judgment's probably a little bit more accurate than theirs would be anyway. Some of the seasons of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette get pretty physical on the show. I mean, because of your Christian, beliefs and stuff, are you going to shy away from that stuff and try to keep it, as PG with the ladies as possible during the show? Well, I mean, I certainly do have strong beliefs, and my faith is very important to me. But at the same time, it's a show about romance, and whether I'm on the show or not on the show, there's a time where you need to act on that romance, and you need to kiss a girl and be passionate. And so you're definitely going to see that, and I will not shy away from it. Okay, but you're not going to sleep with any of these girls before marriage, are you? No, that's not me. And
okay.
And I don't know what people have done in the past, but as far as the fantasy suite goes, man, it wouldn't feel right to me to sleep with three girls in the span of 3 days anyway. I mean, that's just not me. That's not me either. I'm with you on that one, man. Well, Sean, I think you sound like a great guy. I can see why all these chicks are into you. I'm kind of into you even, and I'm a totally heterosexual man. So I think that the season is great if people aren't watching, even dudes. I mean, I'm not obviously into it for you, but it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch to see, women fall on their face, get too drunk and act like idiots around you. The show's just very entertaining, obviously. I suggest people check it out. The Bachelor in its 17th season. You can watch Sean have his pick of the litter, so to speak, and there's still African-American girls and a one-armed girl still in the mix. I will be watching Sean, and hopefully everybody else will too. Good luck, and I hope that it works out for you. Thanks for taking time for us this morning. Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.